Good morning, everyone. I wanted to share a little bit more about my writing dissertation process, or my dissertation writing process, mostly because I know a lot of you are interested in seeing in that, and I realize there's just not a lot of stuff on YouTube that documents the process of what it's like to write a PhD dissertation. And so I wanted to take you across that journey. And so I'm hoping to do about one monthly check-in on my dissertation, so you all can see what that process is like, and even possibly write along with me, or at the very least just get some insight to what that process can be like for you. Before we do that though, I thought it'd be really helpful to spend today kind of setting up how I make my PhD writing manageable, and specifically thinking about how I break up my dissertation or set mini writing goals for myself so I don't become overwhelmed and I feel like I'm making progress because it is such a big document. So hopefully that's really helpful for you all today. So when I advanced to candidacy in 2021,
congratulations, so you're officially ABD.
Let's get it on to your favorite song.
I had to do something called a prospectus. And within my prospectus, I had to develop a chapter outline. And from that chapter outline, I was able to think about what was necessary for me to be able to do my dissertation research. And then from there, kind of reverse engineer how long it would take me to write it. And so within my prospectus, I had to figure out what my methods and methodologies were, had to figure out what my data was, and then think about what would be my chapter outline. And so from that process, working with my committee, I kind of came to the conclusion that my dissertation would be about 4 chapters. And from those 4 chapters, I would also have an introduction and a conclusion. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what a prospectus is, I don't know how to do a chapter outline, I don't know my methods, methodologies, don't worry at all. I would check out my past videos, which I'm going to link in the description and at the end screen so you can watch them after this video. But what you do just kind of need to get from this conversation is when you are developing your prospectus, it's actually a very useful process to help think about what it will take for you to complete a good dissertation. And so for me, I was able to think back and really imagine how long it would take me to write each chapter, what needs to be in each chapter, and essentially decide what would be my benchmarks while I'm out here doing field work. Okay, so my hair's dry and we're back. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my advisor is really against painfully long dissertations. So he straight up told me that he would prefer that my chapters be about 30 pages per chapter. And so I will say that is like super short if I'm being honest, but it gave me a really good concrete goal to work towards, and also to help kind of create SMART goals, or like just achievable benchmarks that would make this writing process a lot smoother for me. And so after I advanced to candidacy, I did kind of immediately, well, not immediately, I did eventually start working on my first chapter, which took me about 7 months to write, if I'm being honest. Not because it was so hard, but because living in LA and trying to balance work, teaching, your classes, the traffic, and just other things that are important to surviving living in LA took a lot more time than what I thought it was going to take, which drew out the process. But once I got to Sao Paulo, I was able to kind of just zoom in and focus on my dissertation. And so I was able to finish it by April and submit it to my advisor, and actually got pretty good feedback. I will say ultimately it was only like 23 pages, not because again it was so hard or because I didn't know what else to write. Really, it's because when you move to another country, you have to make tough packing decisions. And I left quite a few books that I needed to reference to finish the chapter in Los Angeles. So even though it's not completely done, I know exactly where it needs to go, and I just need to sit down with the books to finish it. But that kind of set me up for success to start my second chapter, because I already know what that process is like and how to time it out, and then also kind of the communication style between me and my faculty. Now, I know I've talked a lot about my mini goals and trying not to be stressed, and that's because writing is such a big part of your grad school experience. And if you condition yourself to make writing stressful or tedious or just a horrible process, it's going to inevitably make your graduate process more difficult. So I work really hard to make sure that I am trying to keep the writing process as easygoing, as lighthearted as possible. And I will say too, I am a person who genuinely enjoys the writing process. So I know that's not like the thing for everyone, but because it's something that I enjoy and because it makes me feel smart, it's also very important to me to make sure that it's protected so I can continue to feel good while I'm writing. But again, it all starts with small goals and not overworking or overwhelming yourself. And so when you are sitting down to write, don't think you're writing a dissertation. Just think, okay, I have to answer this one question for this one paragraph, or I need to do this one thing today. And through those small little actions every day, it'll eventually snowball into something more significant. So now it's about 5 p.m. I've been writing for a little while, but I'm starting to, lose my energy, and like I said, I don't really force myself to write when I don't feel like it. Now, I do want to say, for these videos to continue to talk more about my dissertation process, it would really help me a lot if you write in the comments some questions that you have about dissertation writing, things you would like to see about my dissertation writing process, or anything like that. I also want to say, if you have any questions about the PhD process, how I got to this point, or anything like that, I would check out my past videos here at the end screen, or my vlog playlist that I'll link here as well. If you found some things useful, definitely hit the thumbs up so YouTube will share this video with others who may need it. It really helps me as a small YouTuber continue to grow. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you so much for liking, and I will see you next week.